Hello everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Welcome to a Confessions of a Paper Addict design team layout. I'm going to combine this with the Scrapbook Your Joy challenge for the month of June, which is to use a rainbow, and Scrapbooking Boys to Men series, which is Susanna's brainchild, and I am skipping around trying to get caught up. So for this one, I'm going to work with the letter C, and you can kind of pick. I'm kind of using it to represent Cuddles and like baby Cuddles, kind of where I took this one, but it could also be coffee, I guess, although that doesn't really have to do with men, it more has to do with me. So let's just go with Cuddles for this one. Now, you can see I have the outline of this cut file. I love this. It is from Virginia's Creative Cuts 2 class. So it's an exclusive cut file just for her class. You can't get it in the Etsy shop, but you can go to the Etsy shop and get the class. And it's worth every penny, so go do that if you haven't already. And I sprayed it with a lighter blue than you can see. That is that pre-mixed media background. It's a Vicky Boutin one. I didn't do that. I promise I'm not that talented. And so I wanted the difference in color tones, and you're going to see that in a minute. I'm going to first stitch around all of it. It does take me a little bit. I don't mind that. I don't find it tedious. Like some people cannot do stitching. It's too tedious for them. This is a nice thing. It actually gives me a mental break from doing other things. And when I need to be somewhere like outside watching the kids play, it's a great thing for me to feel like I'm still being productive, even though I'm not at my scrap table. So I go ahead and I do all of that. And the reason why the color is different than the background is I want there to be this shadow effect. When I lay back in the pattern papers that I'm using, I want you to see just a little hint of the fact that there's something behind it, and it just plays with dimensions and stuff, giving you that shadow, not having it be the same color, and it kind of just represents something that you probably would get if you put all of your layers on fun foam or something anyways, but this just kind of helps drive that point home, which is why I went ahead to do that. I am playing with the little adventurer collection. This is that pink paisley collection. It's the boy version. There is a girl version of it as well. And this is one of the ones that I've pulled out for my How to Kill a Kit with style for the month of June. Just trying to get some of these more boy-themed layouts documented, like I said, so I can catch up with the series that Susanna and Christine Meyer had originally started. I'm hoping to hop in with the letter P, which I think should come up actually maybe this week. I need to follow up with that. And I'm hoping to kind of get caught up so I can continue finishing out the series with Susanna, and Sarah Scraps is also going to be playing along. However, I want to do the whole alphabet, so I'm going to be skipping around. I will not get to all of it this month. It's probably going to be over the summer that hopefully it'll get caught up. But it's just a fun thing to play with. And so most of my layouts this month, especially with Confessions of a Paper Addict, with the exception of that very first layout I posted with the documenting the design team and that stitching cut file that I did, will be boy themed. So this one's boy themed. The next one later on in the month is also boy themed. Just expect a lot of boy layouts from me this month. Now, let's talk about how we all use cut files in different ways while you watch me layer here. I am one, and I've talked to you about this before, I try really hard to not make the cut file so overpowering that the photo gets lost. Now, please let me say that is my own personal preference and how I like to scrapbook. There are so many different ways that you can do things and make them work for you. Some people are amazing at using the cut files as that big, wow, in your face, powerful thing on the layout, and you still see the photo, but it blends itself nicely together, and I love that. And some people are just creating to create. It's their creative outlet, and the photos are there to be there because you want to document it, but it's more of a creative outlet for people. Whereas I tend to try to make sure that the photo is still the center focus, because my scrapbooks are to tell these stories. I love the creative part of it, don't get me wrong, but I do want the focus to be on photos, which is why I try to make sure that the cut file is there. It's kind of blended in, mixed into the background a little bit, And then my photo is popped up with lots of layers, and my title is placed half on the photo, the bottom of the photo, and then trails down. So your eye is always going to the photo because everything is revolving around the photo. And that is how I managed to use this cut file. I did a couple techniques. I kind of did the daisy technique where I took the outline and sprayed it and then I didn't place the cut file back on top of it, but I placed pattern paper on top of it. That's a really popular thing happening right now. It's a fun technique, so if you haven't given it a shot, you definitely should. And I followed it up with stitching, which is something that, of course, I really love to do. So lots of different ways you can play around with cut files and make them your own and make them work for you. You just have to play until you get into a comfort zone, and then be okay with that comfort zone. You don't have to stretch outside of it if you don't want to. It's all up to what you want to do. All right, well, I just kind of went on a tangent. I ended up using a bit of a secondary collection because I don't have any ephemera for this little adventure collection. I gifted it to a friend. And so I actually pulled out Pretty Little Studios winter collection. I can't actually remember the full title of it, Winter Friends or something. I loved it. I was able to get a flare and a few other things. Part of the alphas had some little stars, so I added that. And just a bunch of other little things that kind of give off a winter vibe, which is what this photo is. I know I'm kind of jumping around here. Sorry about that. It's just a cute little photo of me having coffee with Barrett. He's just a few weeks old in this photo, and we're cuddling. I believe the kids are outside playing in the snow with Sean. This was a snow day. And so I just love this photo. It's very peaceful. I believe the fireplace was going, and I just love it. Baby Cuddles are always some of the best, especially when they're that little. And I just loved how that photo turned out and was able to tell that story, which is where C comes in for the ABC Scrapbooking Boys to Men, and it's about Barrett. So it all worked together. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please make sure you head on over and check out the Confessions of a Paper Addict Facebook group. And of course, head on over to Etsy and see what you can get your hands on, including this really cool class from Virginia, which again is called Creative Cuts 2. I'll see you guys all soon. Bye, everyone.